I love anything with fairies.
Is it Lyala?
This next one is like Hunger Games Vampire Edition. Hi there everyone. Welcome to another video. My name is Gabrielle. Today I just wanted to share a quick video with you where I'll go over my November TBR. For those that aren't as familiar with the TBR, it is a to be read list. And many people create some either on a monthly basis, or I know for myself, I have one that I create on Goodreads that's kind of a TBR for my whole life. So, you know, I want to read this at some point, but I've never actually created a monthly TBR list or a sort of goal reads list, but I figured I would try to make one for November and share it with you. Over the past few months, I've really been able to read quite a few books each month, which I'm really pleased about. But I finished the Throne of Glass series just a few days ago, and it is so impactful and meaningful to me that I've been in kind of a book slump ever since then. So I'm going to be a little bit less ambitious with the actual TBR. But I did include some maybes in there, so I'll share those with you as well. And the maybes will kind of stand for if I end up being able to read more than I think I will at this point in time, or if I feel like trying something a little different than what I originally am committing myself to. I also did get sick last month, which contributed to me having more reading time, so I don't anticipate getting sick this month. However, there will be some time off of work, so maybe I will actually have more time. We'll see at the end of the month how I do. The first book that's on my list, which I am actually halfway through, so I will be finishing, is A Magic Steeped with Poison. This is a fantasy book, which I actually didn't know when I first picked it up, and it kind of follows this fantasy world. There's a lot of Asian influence, though I don't think it specifies exactly like which country it takes place in. And the main character, her mother is sort of a tea expert. I'm not sure the exact pronunciation of what they call these tea experts, but I'll put it on screen here for you to see. And there are many of these experts across the country, their kingdom. And so the main character's mother dies, and there's this national competition for all of the tea experts to come to the Imperial Palace to compete in this competition to be the tea expert for the Emperor and the Princess. Since our main character's mom dies, she decides to go and compete in this competition because whoever wins will win a favor from the princess. So she's hoping that she will win the favor from the princess, and with that she is going to ask for the imperial physicians to help her sister because her sister is riddled with the same sickness that her mother died from, though it is less severe. Throughout, there's some mysteries because there was this poison that was seeped into the tea that's distributed to all the citizens, which is what caused her mom to die and is making her sister sick. There's some love stories so far, but yeah, this is the first one. The next book that I'm adding to my list is The Serpent and the Wings of Night. There's a lot of like competition books. I'm not sure why. I think it's like kind of the fall theme, but it's kind of like Hunger Games-esque. So that was the Hunger Games Tea edition. This next one is like Hunger Games Vampire Edition, or at least that's what I'm gathering as I've started to read it. But essentially our main character is a human, and as a child, I think vampires like destroyed her house and either killed her parents or maybe something else killed them. And so the lead vampire took her and raised her. And so now she is competing in this competition against other vampires. We'll see how it goes from there, but it should be kind of interesting. I think whoever wins like gains this power to be sort of like immune, so if she wins she probably will have more control over the vampires than just being like a, you know, a human. The next book on my TBR is Strange the Dreamer. I haven't read this one, but I've had it on hold from my library, and this month I will be off the hold list, so I intend to read it. And it follows a story of Laszlo Strange. So it says, the synopsis: the dream chooses the dreamer, not the other way around. And Laszlo Strange, war orphan and junior librarian, has always feared that his dream chose poorly. A stunning opportunity presents itself in the person of a hero called the Godslayer and a band of legendary warriors, and he has to seize his chance or lose his dream forever. What exactly did the Godslayer slay that went by the name of God, and what is the mysterious problem he now seeks help in solving? So I'm not actually quite sure what it's even about, but I know that it is a well-raved about book, and a lot of people really love it, so I figured I'd give it a try. But as you can see, even from the synopsis, which I did shorten down there, it's a little bit still mysterious. The next book on my TBR I'm really excited to read. It's called The Molten Key. This book is written by a small author who is actually a doctor, and I know this because I somehow discovered her, the author, on Instagram. I'm sure somewhere in the bookstagram sphere or people's posts I was looking at, maybe she was like reposted on their story somehow. But she just recently published the book, and it's a fantasy novel, and some of the key things she features are that there's disability involved, which I've only read minimally in some other stories, so I'm really interested in how she involves it. And there are a lot of other key factors for diversity and various things that are represented in her book that aren't normally, so I'm excited to give it a read. So far it has really good ratings and less than 100 reviews because, like I said, she's a small author. I am considering in the new year doing a video featuring some small authors, so stay tuned. The synopsis reads, prepare for war, the Molten are coming. Only one thing matters to Adelia Larson, and that's family. So when her father goes missing, and the only clue left behind is a mysterious iron key, she must delve into his past and uncover his secrets in order to find him. Except she's not the only one searching for him. The Fairy Guard's goal is to stop a war that's brewing in Fairy, and to do that, they need her dad. Apparently, he's a wanted fugitive with a stolen artifact needed to save Fairy from a war. When Adelia and the guards meet, Adelia makes a decision to keep the key hidden and force the Fairy Guard to help her find her dad. Her choices made it increasingly hard when one of the guards has an irritating smirk that she finds more endearing than she should. As Adelia gets closer to the truth, her conviction wavers. She can surrender the key and save Fairy, or she can save the one person she loves most in the world. It's the life of one she loves versus 1,000 strangers. So yeah, this is a debut novel. I love anything with fairies, and I'm really interested about this key. So the next book on my TBR, and this is actually the last that I'm going to, try and commit myself to. So it rounds out our list at 5 books, and that is Bow Before the Elf Queen. This is the first in a series. I'm not sure if it's going to be only a duology or if there will be more, but currently there are 2 published, and it follows a main character. Is it Layala? It follows the story of an elf, Layala. In this fantasy world, there are elves, there are humans, and there are other creatures that I'm not yet sure of. I'll learn as I read. But the elves can have magic, but for many years they've been plagued with some difficulty where it's rare to be born with magic. So when our main character Layala is born, she comes to the king, as all elf babies have to, and the mage tests her for magic. It's revealed that she does have magic, so the king is elated and he immediately commits her to be the mate of his son, the prince, so that way eventually they'll be married and they can utilize her power as sort of a weapon for the kingdom. Wants her to grow up then in the castle under his and his queen's protection until she's able to be married, which I've gathered is at age 25 in this book. The lighting changed, it's a cloudy day. Layala's mom, having just given birth to her 7 days before, does not want this to happen, so she runs and gives Layala to her friend, who is a human, to protect. By doing that, Layala's mom knows that she's going to be killed once the king's guards capture her, as well as Layala's father. So she asks the human to protect her and care for her until eventually they know that the king will come for Layala one day. So at the point where I'm at in the story, which is early on, this is less than 10% in, so I don't really necessarily consider this a spoiler. The guards have come for Leala to take her in to, be mated to the prince, and he's there in the carriage when they capture her, but it is revealed that he is no longer the prince, he is indeed king. And so we'll see where it goes from there. I just started this one yesterday just because I was curious. And then the maybes that I've added 3 just because we'll see what kind of mood I'm in. But one I actually have in person, it's been sitting here. I picked this up from my local bookshop. I think it was only like $3, maybe $1. And that is Red, White, and Royal Blue. I know this was really popular on social media, and so I recognized the cover at the library. Otherwise, I don't know much about it. So this is a maybe, since I do have it in person. The next one that I've heard really cute things about from some people I follow on Instagram that post about books is Icebreaker. I think it's like an athletic, like figure skater and ice hockey player romance, which I love ice skating, so I feel like that might be cute. But maybe I'll save that one for like December or January when it's a bit more wintry. And then the other one that I may or may not read is Gothicana. One of the people that I follow on Goodreads, I saw they had a really good review of it a few months ago. And then when I was looking it up just this week, I discovered that it is on Kindle Unlimited, which I do subscribe to. So I might check that out. I know it's like a dark academia, a girl with, I don't know if it's special powers or maybe she's, just not like other girls. She goes to this like prestigious school that's like gothic and who knows. So yeah, I'm really excited for some fun reads. It's gonna be a busy month all around. If you read or are planning to read any of these books, please feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But I look forward to seeing you in another video sometime soon. Thanks for tuning in.